Hello everyone, this is Annette Stanton. How are you? Here I am in my office in Coogee, which is in Perth, Western Australia. And I've just come from a coaching session. And I thought I'd come and share with you a little bit more about the importance of following your own resourcefulness. And what came up in the coaching session this morning was I asked how this particular client processed in getting organised. And this was about, breaking down actions, goals, the to-do list and so forth. And he had some particular resource tool that he had been utilising for quite some time. And I asked him, I said, well, how's it working for you? And he said, it's not. I said, well, let's look at what's going to work for you and let's pull something out from your own resourcefulness. And we were able to, just by me asking some questions in regard to breaking it down one step at a time, he could then see, the steps that he needed to take, even with goal setting and so forth. When the brain and when the mind is so overwhelmed with so many things that you have to do, which is what he said. I've got so many things that I know I need to do, I know I need to take action on, I'm overwhelmed. And I asked, have you written it down? He said, yes, I've made a list of those particular things in certain areas. And I said, well, which is the one that's pressing you the most? And he very clearly defined exactly what was pressing the most, which was creating a lot of stress and pressure mentally, emotionally, physically, which affected himself financially. And also, obviously you take that home with you from your working environment. So then I was able to break down, okay, so for you to achieve this one particular area that will take pressure off you, what would be your next step? Let's just focus in on one step at a time. And he clearly defined, the next step. And I said, so if you've accomplished that step, just imagine you've accomplished that step, what is your next step? And then he knew exactly what the next step was, and so forth and so forth. He found there were 5 steps to completion of this particular project. He also identified that he would be the time frames that it would take next to each step. And I said, and what's the next step now? And he said, now I know I just need to put that into the diary and I can accomplish that. And I said, well, what does that give you just by looking at those steps? He said, I see how it's doable. I see how I was complexing, and feeling the pressure from inside out, and literally going into, the words of feeling like motivation wasn't there, feeling like procrastination had crept in and so forth. So then analysis paralysis and then overwhelm. And what we do is we enmesh all the emotions of everything else that has to be done into that one area, and it stops and blocks you from breaking down the next simple step, okay? So when in overwhelm, if you're ever feeling that sense, and I know that in life today we're so busy, and I know, of many different periods of my life, I've had to unravel the different resources, the different tools, that I knew just weren't working for me. I was in overwhelm, so I had to break it down and simplify everything. And that's something that I encourage you to do, and find your own resourcefulness from inside out, not from outside in. To stop looking outside for the answers and go inside and go, what's my obvious next step? And then what's my next step? And then what's my next step? Sure, have the goals that accommodate those and break those particular goals down into 3 months, into 2 months, into 1 month, not looking too far ahead, because what we want to do is we want to create foundations. This is what I said to the client this morning. I said, what we want to do first and foremost is to rebuild trust. Rebuild trust inside yourself because of the overwhelm, the confusion, and then obviously life happens. You get a few business knocks, you get a lot of no's, you get a lot of uncertainty that goes on at different phases and stages of your own personal and your business life. And what happens is, I've been through this myself personally, is you go into self-doubt. It's easy to go into not trusting in your own decision making. And then what happens then is you look outside for the answers. You're looking at, what other people are doing, how they're doing it. And this is when you can actually get lost on the path that, based on your values and your highest priorities and the path that you're meant to be going. And everyone is unique and different, has a different path that they're meant to be going down. So ultimately, what I'd like to encourage you and inspire you is to ask yourself the question, what do you know your obvious next step is? That is pressing and creating emotion. It's creating frustration and blocking your physical action and flow. And then breaking those steps into simple little steps so that you can create foundations in all areas of your life, okay? But you've got to start with one. Start one place. If you try and bring everything in all at once, then you can also create more overwhelm. The best plans and can be so, complex and overwhelming within yourself. So it's in the engagement and it's in the action that you start to build trust from inside out. And patting yourself on the back, literally I did that every moment, as much as I possibly could when I was rebuilding myself throughout the many different phases that I've been down. And one of the ways was to pat yourself on the back for every little step you take. No matter what the result, yeah? So it's becoming your own best friend, taking those little steps. And one of the equations that my coach gave me many years ago, which worked really well, was decision plus action equals results. What is the decision? I would ask myself whenever I felt overwhelmed, what is the decision that I need to make right now on the action to take that I know is doable right here, right now, that would create some form of sense of freedom, fulfillment, peace, which is what I asked my client this morning. Once you've taken those 5 steps, what will that give you? He said, peace of mind. And ultimately, once we've got peace of mind and stop beating ourselves up from outside in, from inside out, and not being our own best friend along the journey, then it makes success, it makes happiness, it makes fulfillment, it makes results a lot harder. Yeah. So if that's something that I can support you with, and as I mentioned earlier to my client, it's like, I'm not sure about that word support, but I'd rather partner. If you are looking for a partner, someone that you use as a sounding board, someone that that you're either going around in circles and you need that clarity of the direction that you want to take, then I can certainly support you. This is something that I live, eat, breathe every single moment of every single day. It's not something that I actually just teach to people. It is a way of life and a way of business for myself. And this is what I teach my clients how to do, how to create a life and a business that they love from inside out, that honours who they truly are, their values, the inner vision on where you're at this stage in your life. Because we go through many different phases and stages, and grief is one of those, as we go through different stages of our life, and getting to know yourself in a new light and what your highest priorities are at this stage in your life. So coming back to the resourcefulness, you have the resources inside yourself. I can support you in helping pull those out. Yeah, and there I go, using that word again. So I will partner you to bring those out. If that is something that you're interested in, give me a call, drop me a line, and we can have a conversation about that. But if not, then just trust yourself in asking and pulling out your own resourcefulness, utilising that before looking outside. Go inside and ask yourself, what are your obvious next steps for yourself to support yourself in becoming your own best friend and being that resourceful person that you truly are. So have a great day, have a great week. My name's Annette Stanton, helping you to create a life and a business that you love every day. Have a fabulous one. Bye for now. See you later.